we'll come together and talk about it. So let me say this though. So it went from the Black clinicians support group, and then because we said, hey, no, this needs to be opened up to all of the clinicians here. You know,
this needs to be more honest,
right?
Yeah.
And so when it came into the group, the larger group, or I guess collectively, you know, as a department or unit, I wouldn't say department, but just like the whole crew, you know what I mean? White, Black, Hispanic, you know, all people. That's when let's watch Hidden Figures and come together and talk about something. So I was checked out at that point, to be honest with you. There were other little shits, but at that point, I think I probably had started my private practice. So, okay, right, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's what honesty is supposed to be, because it's your story.
Yes.
So like for example, I had a moment a week ago. Bubba Wallace, they had like a documentary about what he went through as a race car driver, right, during the pandemic, and he was talking about how these deaths have affected him. And for me, that was fascinating because like I didn't think about what being a Black star in a predominantly white sport and industry was like for him growing up. And then there was this one moment that they had used sound and footage from the protest, and I was triggered.
Ooh.
I had to like stop the documentary because like, remember, I was in it in 2020, and like there's a separation that I acknowledge of. I was in it, and after I left.
Right.
Like even the group that I work with, one of the pieces of advice I gave them was, the moment you guys miss a weekend, you will lose your crowd and they will never come back to the stuff you're doing. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, protesting is an emotion and a verb.
Right.
There's no vacations.
Right.
And whatever you need to demand, you need to do it now, because if you don't have a list of demands and what your community needs, that's it. I was like, just understand, people are going to see you guys stop and see the other groups continue going, and they're going to say, oh, you guys were just visiting. And if you guys don't pick back up that torch or that same energy after, I was like, just hang it up.
Yeah, and essentially, you know, to your point, the Black clinician support group meeting became, it was started as kind of like a weekly thing, and then it was like, oh, well, let's make this a bi-weekly thing.
Because it's getting in the way of work.
And let's make this a monthly thing. And so it lost it lost its sentiment. Yeah, but like I said, you know, there's tons that like I've yet to process, because it's like when I left that space. As
you should.
Yeah, I was like,
and you do have to give yourself permission to leave that space.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the value of permission.